Welcome, friends, to Wisdom and Wealth, your trusted source for insights on living a richer, more meaningful life, especially as we navigate our journey beyond 40. Today, we're diving into a topic that resonates deeply with many of us: loneliness and how we can transform it into something positive. Before we begin, if you find value in these discussions, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the Wisdom and Wealth channel. Your support helps us create more content to guide you on your path. We often associate being around people with happiness, contentment, and joy. We thrive in relationships and find comfort in shared experiences. But what happens when those connections fade, when loved ones depart, or when we simply find ourselves alone? Too often, we experience feelings of depression, sadness, loneliness, and a sense that no one cares. If we examine this emotion closely, we may realize that our happiness has become contingent on the presence and behavior of others. In essence, we've handed over the key to our own happiness to external sources. Think about it. When someone smiles at you, does it make you feel good? When someone offers a helping hand, do you feel grateful? External validation feels good, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, when those external sources disappear, when people leave our lives, depart from us, or simply fade away, the result can be devastating. We become unhappy, sad, and depressed. We feel like no one cares or is there to help us. This is the essence of loneliness, and it's a common experience. The question is, how do we navigate it? That's where the concept of solitude comes in. The Buddha, in his infinite wisdom, advised his monks to practice solitude. Before we delve into solitude, why not take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Wisdom and Wealth? We promise to keep bringing you valuable insights. Let's contrast loneliness with solitude to gain a clearer understanding. In loneliness, you yearn for someone to enter your life and bring you happiness. You're dependent on others for your well-being. But in solitude, you actively seek happiness within yourself. When you cultivate inner happiness, you no longer rely on external validation. You become self-sufficient in your joy. This is the essence of the practice of solitude. Solitude, therefore, isn't just about being alone, but about transforming being alone into a positive experience. Others often differentiate between loneliness and simply being alone, and rightfully so. When you embrace solitude, you find happiness not from external sources, but from within. The Buddha encourages us to view loneliness not as something to be feared or as a negative experience, but as a valuable opportunity for growth and self-discovery. How can we reframe loneliness in a positive light? Well, when you're alone, you have more time for yourself. You have the freedom to reflect, meditate, prioritize your health, and engage in self-development practices. By using this time constructively, you can transform feelings of sadness and depression into feelings of empowerment and self-reliance. Now, let me share a story about the Buddha's own experience with loneliness before he attained enlightenment. At that time, he was known as the Bodhisattva, and he was deeply immersed in self-mortification practices for 6 long years. He subjected his body to extreme hardships and engaged in intense meditation in the depths of the jungle. 5 monks initially supported the Bodhisattva in his quest, believing that his self-mortification would lead to enlightenment. He has their support, so why did he change? However, after 6 years, the Bodhisattva realized that enlightenment couldn't be achieved through self-mortification. He decided to pursue the middle way. First, he took his bowl and went to the village to collect food. He believed that physical energy was necessary for meditation. However, the 5 monks who had been supporting him were deeply confused. They saw the Bodhisattva eating, and they believed that he had abandoned the path to enlightenment, which they thought could only be achieved through self-mortification. Disappointed and disillusioned, the 5 monks abandoned the Bodhisattva. Have you liked and subscribed yet? Do it now. The Bodhisattva was now utterly alone in the jungle, with no one to help or care for him. But instead of succumbing to feelings of depression or negativity, he embraced his solitude. He realized that he now had more time for himself, and he could meditate freely without distractions. He resolved to use this time for self-development. This is the mindset that we should also cultivate. If you find yourself in a lonely situation, seize the opportunity to create a better life for yourself. Use your newfound time for meditation, establishing a daily routine of self-improvement, working out, connecting with nature, reading, learning something new, or practicing self-compassion. Instead of dwelling on the sadness of being alone, why not embrace the happiness of having time to yourself? Practice solitude, and let people come and go as they may. The most important thing is to focus on your own well-being and growth. I hope this has given you a new perspective on loneliness and the power of solitude. Embrace it, and make your life richer and more meaningful. Now, a quick question: do you have sleepless nights due to racing thoughts? Do you imagine worst-case scenarios? Do you worry about what others think of you? If so, you might be overthinking. If this sounds like you, you aren't alone. Let's explore how we can break free from overthinking and take action. The first step is to recognize that overthinking is counterproductive. Planning and analyzing are essential, but excessive analysis can hinder progress. Constant overthinking distracts you from the task at hand. Acknowledge that overthinking won't help you. Second, practice mindfulness, a technique that helps stop overthinking. The Buddha taught many ways to be mindful, including focusing on your breathing, known as anapanasati. By paying attention to your inhales and exhales, you bring your mind into the present moment. Instead of thousands of looping thoughts, you focus on just two, inhale and exhale. This practice cultivates peace and reduces overthinking. Whenever you find yourself overthinking, take 3 deep breaths, and focus on your breathing pattern. Alternatively, be mindful of your body. Ask yourself how you're sitting or what you're doing. Recognizing these sensations brings you to the present moment, which is where peace resides. A saying goes, if you are sad, your mind is in the past. If you are anxious, your mind is in the future. But if you are peaceful, your mind is in the present moment. You have liked and subscribed, right? Do it now. Embrace living in the present. By being present in the here and now, you can achieve greater peace and stop overthinking. Another aspect of overthinking is the what if question. Many people constantly wonder, what if this happens, or what if I did something wrong? They imagine the worst-case scenarios. If you're prone to what if questions, try reframing them. Instead of focusing on negative outcomes, ask yourself, what if everything I did was okay? Be positive and remember that there are always possibilities for your plans to succeed. Accept that you won't be perfect, but you can strive to be the best version of yourself. Do your best, take risks, and remember that success often requires taking chances. Practice mindfulness, be kind to yourself, and remember that overthinking robs you of peace. I hope this video has illuminated your path. Be peaceful, be mindful, and break free from overthinking. Start doing the things you've been putting off. Buddha Namo Buddha. Welcome to another installment of Wisdom and Wealth's Q&A program. Let me ask you something. How many times have you created timetables or to-do lists at the beginning of the year, the start of a term, or even at the beginning of the day, only to find yourself not following them? We've all been there. We create ambitious plans, but we struggle to stick to them. Why? Because we procrastinate. In today's video, we'll explore what procrastination is and how to overcome it. First, don't be discouraged by procrastination. It's a normal human tendency. The average person is a skilled procrastinator. We all experience procrastination and laziness. However, if you aspire to be extraordinary, you must overcome these habits. Keep in mind that procrastination is a habit, and habits exist in your mind. They're not dictated by your body or your environment. Therefore, you have the power to control and overcome it. Let's define procrastination. Procrastination is the mental barrier that prevents you from doing what needs to be done. For instance, when you wake up and need to study, do you feel eager to get out of bed and start studying? Often, you encounter mental resistance. Your mind tells you to stay in bed for a few more minutes, assuring you that there's still time. Have you liked and subscribed to Wisdom and Wealth yet? However, that same mind that encouraged procrastination will later complain when deadlines approach and you haven't accomplished anything. The mind will criticize you for not following your timetable, labeling you a procrastinator. We must prevent our minds from deceiving us. So, how do we stop procrastinating? In a Dhammapada verse, the Buddha shared valuable insights. The verse states that if a person is energetic, mindful, and does good and right actions with their body, mind, and speech, and if they can control their sensual desires, their fame and wealth will grow. This verse contains everything we need to overcome procrastination. Let's break it down. The Buddha advised us to be energetic and take action. The only way to stop procrastinating is to take action. However, that's a significant hurdle. To be energetic and take action is difficult. To overcome this hurdle, we must practice mindfulness. That's why the Buddha emphasized being mindful and aware of ourselves. What should we be aware of? Our minds. As I mentioned earlier, procrastination is a mental condition. It's a thought or emotion. We need to be mindful of our thoughts. When you become aware of your thoughts, you can detect when laziness creeps in. When lazy thoughts arise, you recognize them and know you need to take action. When anger arises, you can detect it and understand that your mind is angry. Awareness gives you the opportunity to control your thoughts. Being aware of your thoughts grants you the ability to control them. Next, the Buddha advises us to do what is right. When studying, if your phone is nearby and you start scrolling through social media, ask yourself if you're doing the right thing. Is this what you should be doing right now? Your mind will tell you to get back to studying. This is why the Buddha emphasized doing what is right and what should be done first. Later, in your leisure time, you can enjoy those activities. The Buddha also stressed the importance of controlling your sensual desires. Our minds often want to indulge in social media or be lazy. To achieve success, the Buddha advises us to give up some sensual desires to some extent. The comfort of staying in bed may feel appealing, but if you need to study, you must forego that pleasure and get to work. You need the mental strength to resist sensual desires and get to work, because choosing the easy path will make tomorrow harder. If you want to be happy in the future, you must endure what is difficult today. The Buddha said you need to control your sensual desires. The diligent person's fame and wealth will grow. These are the things that help us avoid procrastination. Now, let me share a few more tips. Remember that procrastination is a habit and a way of relieving stress. For instance, when exams are near, do you study or procrastinate? You might procrastinate because your mind needs to relieve stress. Your mind chooses the easiest way to do this, which is procrastination. Keep in mind that procrastination is a habit that can be broken. How do you break a habit? By taking action. You must do the opposite of what you usually do, which is to take action. When creating timetables and to-do lists, make sure they are achievable. Sometimes, we create plans that are too ambitious. For example, you might plan to study for 1.5 or 3 hours. However, your mind isn't ready for that. Instead, set achievable and realistic goals. If studying for 5 minutes seems manageable, your mind will be more willing to cooperate. Tell yourself that you only need to study for 5 minutes, and you'll feel more motivated to get started. Set achievable tasks. You can begin with 5 minutes, or even just 1 minute. Who cares? What matters is that you start. The reason why we must set small goals is when we take action, we actually do more. If you only plan to study for 5 minutes, you'll often keep going. You'll do more than you have scheduled. Over time, you can gradually increase the amount of time you spend studying. This is far better than postponing everything or doing nothing at all. Set achievable tasks. Ask a friend or family member to review what you've accomplished at the end of the day. This will provide motivation and encourage you to do more. Also, and this is crucial, change your mindset. Don't label yourself as a procrastinator. Remember, you're not a procrastinator, you simply have a habit of procrastinating. You have liked and subscribed, correct? It's good for the algorithm, so it will help other people like us. The more you label yourself as a procrastinator, the more you will procrastinate. Change your mindset. Believe that this habit can be broken and that you have the power to take action and achieve success. These are the steps we can take to stop procrastination. Finally, remember that when you procrastinate, you're not only postponing your work but also your happiness. Don't let procrastination steal your happiness. Stop procrastinating by practicing these tips and live a happy life. Namo Buddha. Welcome to another Wisdom and Wealth video. Today, we're discussing something crucial for all our lives. If you want to excel at anything, whether it's studying, meditating, or pursuing a spiritual path, what one quality do you need? The answer is consistency. Have you ever wondered why we're so good at bad habits like anger, jealousy, procrastination, or laziness? It's because we've practiced them consistently over a long time. If you constantly get angry or lose your temper every day, you'll become skilled at it. Similarly, if you consistently procrastinate, you'll become a skilled procrastinator. Consistency is the key to success in any endeavor. We can use this to our advantage. If you're studying, you need to do it every day, repeatedly, even on days when you don't feel like it. That's the hardest and most important part. If you keep going, you'll develop a good habit. Once it becomes a habit, it will become easy. That's why the Buddha emphasized that when you practice a spiritual path, particularly meditation, you must do it consistently. Don't just do it sporadically. When you do it inconsistently and expect great results, you'll be disappointed. The Buddha advised practicing loving-kindness meditation and cultivating a mind of loving-kindness consistently. Use it repeatedly, and you'll become skilled at it. Loving-kindness, love, patience, and compassion will become integral parts of your life. When meditating, pursuing a spiritual path, studying, or developing a skill, consistency is paramount. Do it even when you don't feel like it. Push through those moments, and you'll become a master of whatever you pursue. Here's the most important thing: don't judge your progress. We're often eager to see quick results because we're accustomed to instant gratification. We live in a world where information is readily available at our fingertips. However, spiritual practice and skill development aren't instant. They require gradual progress. Do a little each day, and expect only modest improvements from each session. Don't judge your progress. The most important thing is to do it every day and keep moving forward. If you do, you'll master anything you desire. I hope this has shed light on consistency and its value. Keep practicing, and you will succeed. I wish you all well, happy, and at peace. Before you go, please remember to like and subscribe so that others can share in the wisdom and the wealth.